Hi, guys. Welcome back to the JPN podcast. Today we're going to be talking a little bit more about our jobs and what we actually do. For reference, I'm a copywriter. A lot of people don't even know what that means, so I want to explain that and give you guys a little more details.
Micah, what large ears you have.
But look at my beautiful eyelashes. I'm so pretty. When should I come back? Should I just come back?
You can come back now.
Yeah, you can come back.
I'll just do the whole podcast on the ground. Why not? Why not? Hello, hello.
Hello.
It was me all along. You've been deceived.
What?
You've been deceived.
Hey, does your fox have a name?
You know, we did name it, and I've already forgotten the name.
That's sad.
I know, and I genuinely sleep with this thing every night.
Oh.
Yeah,
That's
I know.
adorable. All right, so
Sweet.
Shane, since this was your idea, do you want to
I would love to.
talk about your job
Okay, my job
or anybody's job? Whatever.
My job. Actually,
Welcome to the world's the most boring podcast, everybody.
man. Jobs are hard.
Yeah.
Jobs are necessary. Jobs are jobs. Yeah, I don't know. So me and Rob kind of do the same thing. Me and Rob actually worked together for a long time.
Yep.
And then I kind of went in-house for a company now.
Right.
So I guess I would label myself as the creative director.
Okay.
Technically, I do a lot of things. I do a little bit of marketing. I do a little bit of everything because I am singularly the marketing department.
Right.
But I think that's probably the closest thing to a title I can give myself.
It's really fun when you get to create your own title because then you're like, all right, what can I name myself?
Well, here's the thing. They gave me a title, but it's not like, I feel like it's not a good title. So
What
I don't
is
use
it?
Yeah,
So
now you gotta
they
tell
call
us.
me a creative multimedia specialist, which I think would make more sense if there were anyone else.
Right.
And if that was actually what I did, but it's really not.
So I initially started calling myself a multimedia specialist, but that feels a little too like generic.
Yeah.
So then I changed it to multimedia producer,
I like that
and that
too.
sounds more official.
Man, I feel like for what we do, I will say, okay, so for like me and Rob, we work a lot more on commercial stuff. So
Unfortunately.
So as far as video production, editing, shooting, in the film world, as a lot of people would know, they have very specific titles for everything they do.
Right. There's like the best boy
Yeah.
and the grip.
For what we do, at least around our area, it doesn't quite work that way because you're kind of a jack of all trades.
Right.
So you kind of have to get creative about I don't even that's the thing. Like when I was looking for jobs for like what I do, I didn't even know what to put. Like I legitimately did not know what to search for because hey, we need someone who edits video, does photography, will do brand stuff, graphic design, write emails, write
Social media posts.
write all that kind of. I mean, like literally, we need you to do everything. I mean, that's like the probably easiest.
So that's where multimedia comes in because you're not only are you dealing with like stuff on the web and you're dealing with static images and video, you're also dealing with print media. You're dealing with like graphics, like digital. So it's multimedia, like just everything.
Yeah, I think it works for somebody. So I think with the add-on of like a lot of the marketing stuff that I end up doing, where it's like I'm checking to see how things are, like what's the engagement rates, like what's the reach, what are the impressions looking like, blah blah blah, all the things that are really boring that I hate about my job, honestly.
I'm still listening.
Nope, we're pausing. What?
No,
What's
you're
going
good. everything got all mixed up when I stood up. So
on? Oh, okay.
we're good.
That's kind of where I think it gets kind of weird because it's not like I'm not just making stuff anymore, and not only that, like I'm trying to mess with ad campaigns and all that kind of stuff, which honestly is the part I don't like about my job. To be honest, I really enjoy the creative process. I don't as much enjoy like the numbers and
Yeah.
like I don't
care about statistics.
I do to a point.
I don't.
Like I enjoy it in that like it lets me have a good idea of like what people think about what we're doing. I don't like it in the sense that like I don't want to use that as like something I was talking to my boss about the other day. I was like, I want to stop saying the word content.
Yeah.
Because what I make
It's
is
so
not
ubiquitous
content.
now.
I make art. I make films. I make photo. We do photography. We're creative. We're creating things. Like I think naming everything content, especially that happens a lot right now. Naming everything content just like lessens the value of the thing that you're making.
Right.
Like it's not content. Like it's so much more valuable than that. Like you're telling a story. You're telling a brand story. It's not just like, well, if you want content, shoot it on your iPhone.
So do we need to make a new word for it?
I think I don't think there has to be a new word. I think it's just like call it what it is. You know what I mean? Call it a film, call it art, call it call it photography. That's what it is. It's not content. It's not just I feel like
content feels like you're just trying to fill a space.
Man, I'm not trying to fill a space. Like care about your work, have some passion in it. You know what I mean? Like care about what you do.
I like that.
You know, and I think by calling it content and by getting it, you get in this like humdum thing of like, especially like I'm having to crank out posts and make videos and photos and write things for 5 brands a week.
Right.
I'm doing 7. Like I think I counted up one time. It was like 45 posts a week.
That's a lot.
And that's not all I do. That's the bare minimum.
That's a lot for one person.
And I think you get in this kind of cycle, right, as a creative person of like, okay, there's the line between this is my job and this is my passion. This is what I like doing. And sometimes when you get in like the kind of cycle of doing it, because it's your work now, you kind of lose that spark of like, this is art, this is creativity, this is what I love. And I think a lot of that, I mean, even like little things like saying it's content, like I don't care about this anymore. Like this is just like my job,
right.
You know, I by cheapening that in your mind and by cheapening it to the people around you. Number one, I think that it's decreasing the value to the people that are paying you. You know, like if you have clients, which I don't really anymore, but if you have clients and you're just constantly saying it's content or it's, there's a whole bunch of different like kind of buzzwords,
or I'm a creator or
content creator, blah, 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 blah. You know, I mean, you're lessening the value of what you do to somebody like right off the bat. And I hate it. Because I'm a creative person. You know, I think that's why I chose. I think creative director is probably the closest thing that I enjoy. And I think that I like about it. But yeah, I'm in house, so like I said, I work for technically it's one company, but it's an umbrella company that spans over like 5 different brands. Everything from like an event space to the construction industry, and that includes, like I said, print media. Mm-hmm. I design that. I design anything that goes in social. So I've made websites. I've ad campaigns. I mean, literally, just so many things.
I know that feeling because I've done all that stuff too, and it does wear on you after a while. You kind of get burnt out. You're just like, all right, well, I'm kind of sick of making this now.
Man, I mean, I love. Here, go ahead, Micah. Were you about to say something?
Oh, I was just agreeing with you, like the feeling of getting burnt out. Like, I'm definitely experiencing that with my position right now. It can be a lot.
Man, it's hard. I feel like any job you're in, like any career, I mean, I think you get to that point where it's. I've always wondered where does burnout come from? You know what I mean? Like, is it that you're doing too much work, or is it that you don't value the work you're doing? Do you not feel value for the work?
I think I think it's a combination of all those things. Yeah. But like, I think it's it's not that you don't value the work, but it's like you're not passionate about it anymore because like you've done it too much, or maybe you've gotten to the point of where it's just content for you. It's just filler. So if you're remember when you and I made that sparkling water Coca-Cola commercial,
that was so fun.
Moving your body, come on, feel the beat. Let it get stronger, come on, dance with me. Get up, I wanna not in you. I love to feel it right.
that took us 7 hours to shoot. It didn't feel like it. It took us 7 hours, but like. It was so much fun because it was new and it was like we were actually creating we weren't getting paid for it. It was like just a fun project that we could work on, and we made like a really nice. And we ruined one of your jackets.
Yeah, and that was fine
because we used that as a backdrop because you were like, yeah, it's waterproof, and then it was covered in soda.
It was water resistant,
right?
but there was a lot of liquids involved,
right?
See, and that's like I love that part of it, and I feel like. Part of the issue with some of the things I do, like I said, like when you're spread out that thin, or whenever you're doing that much volume in what you're doing, especially, I think it's so. I think in any space, but especially if you were in a creative space, like if that's your job is to actually create things, whether that be, video, photo, writing, I mean, design, like 1,000 different things. I don't think anyone gets into doing those things. Just like if you wanted to do something that you didn't love or you didn't have a passion for, then you just like be like a lawyer or you like go into banking or finance. Like
There's some people that are passionate about that.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying for like like a normal person, it's not like
A normal person.
no one goes into like. There's not many people going to finance just because I love finance. Like I don't think. If I'm wrong, tell me. Send us a DM. And let me know how much.
Leave a comment below if Shane is wrong.
I just can't see like a 3-year-old being like, I've always wanted to be on Wall Street. You know what I mean?
I want to be a
just like-
financial advisor.
Yeah, for real. I mean, and I think also there is something to be said though about like finding something you love about something like that, because I know a lot of people. I talked to a couple people that were financial advisors, and one thing they really loved about it is they feel like they're serving people by helping them use their money appropriately.
Yeah.
So I think you can find like bits and pieces in anything you do to make you kind of that you can love it. But I think in a creative space, it's so easy. It's much easier for you to start hating what you do. I feel like when you do it that way, because it's something you love, and once you start getting burnt out, or once you start making stuff that you don't like anymore, you're like, I hate it. Like it's just like you don't even want to do it. You don't even want to touch it anymore because it comes like nasty.
Yeah, you went through that where you're like, I hate this. I hate doing this. I don't like doing it. And then you went off and did your own thing, and you're like, all right, now I actually have a passion for it because I am creating things that I enjoy.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and I think I don't know. I feel like there's also something to be said about, when you're doing stuff. Something I've been trying to think about a lot lately is I am still, regardless of what position I'm in, like I'm in a position with a company, but I'm still me and this is still my work.
Right.
And to value my work for what it is. And I think it's led me to, just recently being like, no, that's not how we're doing this. Because this is me. Like this is something I'm making. So I'm holding it to at least some kind of standard. Like this is what I want to do. Regardless, and if you don't like it, then sorry. I feel like there's something to be said about like trying to have passion for what you do.
Yeah.
I feel like it is so easy to lose passion for your job. I want to call it a job, but for your career.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of people who have like a legit job, what I call like, yeah, I don't care about this. It's a job,
right?
And you don't have to have passion for that. I mean, I think you should just take it for what it is. But if you're in something that's like this is something I want to do forever, or at least foreseeably. Try to find your passion for it. And if you're in a position where like you're like, I cannot do the level, quality, or the love of what I'm doing, then you need to find something else. Like, you need to step out of that. That's just really important.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest problems though for that is like a lot of people feel, I would assume that they have trouble finding the jobs to do that stuff, Oh,
for sure.
So it's like you're stuck in working as a bank teller or whatever. Like say you are a creative and you're like, I got a degree in graphic design, but I want to work doing that. But you're like, I need to make money until I can do that. So, and a lot of times I think it's just because you have to level yourself up.
Oh, for sure.
So one of the issues is like, if you want to get into that space and you want to progress in it and excel in it, you need to, you've got to take the initiative yourself. And the reason I say this, because that's what I did. So back in 2003, I just decided to start learning how to do HTML, and I started learning how to do graphic design and messing with Macromedia Flash before Adobe bought it and then shut it down. I learned how to do that. That's how I learned how to animate, and that's how I learned how to draw in vector format. And like I actually, one of the very first things I made was the logo for my band, Saved by One, back when I was in a band and I played guitar and drums. Not at the same time, obviously.
I would like to see that.
But yeah, so, and I took the time, I watched 14 hours of video tutorials before I made the very first thing that I ever made. And I can pop it up on screen because I'm super, super proud of it. And I actually hand drew it first and then I put it in there and I traced over it. And that's actually what kind of started me on this path to where I'm at now, where it's literally my career. And I have like, I spend all day like making like magazines. I've made entire magazines by myself. I make like booklets and I do graphic design, logos, animations, 3D modeling. I made 3D models of houses. I do like weather simulations and like just I created a product that didn't exist. They described it to us, so I had to create a 3D version of it because it didn't exist. That stuff is so much fun because it's like you're broadening your horizons, you're pushing yourself, you're challenging yourself, and you're doing something new. So that's one of the things I think if you do get to that point where you're like, this sucks, I hate this, find something new. Like if you're in the same space we are, that sparkling water commercial that we did, that was straight from Daniel Schiffer. Go find other creators that you look up to, and then like even if you just want to figure out how to do it, just copy what they're doing. And this is purely for the creative space because these two have, well, she is a creative job.
No, yeah, she has a creative job.
But you have to be creative sometimes for the stuff that you're doing because you deal with what you said you had in that, what is that, one of the first episodes back, you're like, I have 17 children.
Oh, I have way more than 17 children.
You do now?
No, I'm just like, how many kids have I at this point?
Oh yeah, that's
taught?
true. So tell us about that. Tell us about your job and like what you like about it, what you don't like about it.
Okay. Well, I'm
Call your employer out.
I'm gonna really like fancy my name right now instead of preschool teacher. I'm a early child development educator.
Okay. Yeah, and that's what they actually call that degree and stuff in college
Yeah.
is early childhood education.
Yeah.
So
So I have worked at my current school for so I'm going into my 8th school year. And where I work, we work with like low income, high risk children. And I don't know. I feel like I really like am kind of like passionate about that and like resonate with that.
just kind of passionate about it.
No, I am. Because I kind of grew up in that space as well, like,
Right.
you know, low income, high risk.
I think we
And-
all did, except for one of us.
But
Guess who it is?
What'd you say?
I said, guess who it is?
so I don't know. I feel like I get to be like the person that maybe my younger self needed
Oh, that I see. I like that.
in their life.
I like that a lot.
So I feel like that really keeps me like passionate about my job. Like even when I'm like struggling, I'm like, why am I actually making an impact to these kids' lives? Like, am I doing what I should be doing, what I need to be doing?
You're helping the next generation grow, and you're actually like reaching out and being, like you said, the person that you needed
Yeah.
when you were that age.
Yeah, and even like when it's super difficult, like with behaviors and stuff like that, I just like think about like for some of these kids, this is like their only safe place
Right.
that they have. So I feel like that's something that really keeps me going even through like the harder times, like, you know, because you can get like compassion fatigue,
Yeah, I've been there.
you know, with this kind of work. I mean, it's hard not to think about the kids when you're on summer break and you're like, you know, is so-and-so like getting food during the break? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
it's hard just not taking your worries home for some of my students. But yeah, I really love it. I've done it for, like I said, 8 years now. And yeah, I don't know. It's just a really fun job also.
Right.
Like, it's silly. The kids are funny.
Yeah,
know?
you show me some of the pictures and videos and stuff of that you guys do, which I think it's very interesting. I was very surprised that you could actually take pictures of the kids and stuff.
Yeah, I obviously don't share them on my own social media and stuff just
Right.
because I don't have, you know, permission for that. But we have like what is it, like waivers, permission slips
Yeah.
for like photos. Obviously, we have like foster kids and stuff that can't have
Right.
photos taken and stuff. But yeah, they just have funny stories. You know, they just say. They spill the tea, you know? And
I said that in the last episode where I was talking about my nieces and nephew. They were like, "Our dad says you're rich," and I'm like, "Oh God, what?"
oh yeah, you have no clue.
So
what-
they just say some of
I
the.
just hear some good stories.
I was gonna say you should tell us some of those stories. Maybe not incriminating enough, but
Yeah. Well, just like it's just funny. Like they'll be like, yeah, mommy and daddy, like they tell me I can't come into their room because they're wrestling. Like, you know what I mean? Or
But that comes out of nowhere too. Like
yeah,
there's
it's just
nothing that
random.
prompted that.
Literally, it's
Yeah.
just random. Or they'll be like, yeah, like my mommy said that my daddy can't come home anymore because of this, and that. Like,
Right.
you know, just random. And you're like, well, first of all, this could could be true or not.
Right.
Like, they could randomly they make
They
make
could have
up
heard
stuff.
it on TV or something. Yeah.
Like you have no idea.
Amanda, have you
But-
heard of Lee McNasty? Do you know
No,
who that
I have
is?
not.
Okay, well, he is a teacher, I think like a kindergarten teacher, and he essentially makes videos where he is the kids and acts like the kids in his classroom, like pretends to interact
okay.
with them, and you would probably love them. They're hilarious.
Well, I think you just gave us an idea for some sketches that we can do for Just Plain Nonsense.
Yeah. But yeah, I just really love it. And you know, it's getting towards the end of the summer now, so I'm getting kind of excited. You know, by the end of the school year, you're like, I'm ready to get out of here.
Right.
I need a break.
Right.
But then, you know,
start to miss 'em.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then at the beginning of the year, you're like excited to get to like decorate your classroom again and meet all these new kids. And
I think it's super sweet how every time anytime you talk about it to me, you call them your kids. You're like, my kid's this or my kid's that. I'm like, that's so sweet because it just shows that you're passionate and you care about them.
yeah.
And you just have that mentality and that like personality to handle that kind of stuff
Yeah. I think so at times.
at times.
You know, it's just like sometimes you're like, wow, like I'm having sensory overload right now. Like there's 17 kids screaming and running
Right.
around, and you're trying to like do a lesson plan,
Right.
and they won't sit on the carpet. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
well, and that we have a friend who she has kids, a bunch of kids, and I'll see them. They'll be like, "Mom, mom, mom."
I'm sure
and then
she loves
she
that.
doesn't even. Yeah, well, she doesn't even notice it. It's like because her brain filters it out because it
Yeah.
happens all day, every day.
I know.
And then I'm
I
sitting
feel
there
like
and I'm
that.
like, "Please talk to the child."
I feel like that too. Sometimes I'm like, are people talking to me? Sometimes I like literally don't even hear it
Right.
because my brain's just so used to like all this noise
Right.
all the time.
I do that with advertisements. Like if I go anywhere, like if say I'm walking up to like the door of a store or whatever, all the way they're like 30% off, blah blah blah. All this, I literally don't even see
just
it.
like-
I don't
yeah.
see it because I make that stuff
And it's
all
not like
day
a
long.
choice.
Right.
It's like your brain just does
just filters it out.
And I was like, I just wonder how many times a day is my name called? I just really wonder because
You need to get one of the. Oh, go ahead.
a
I'm sorry.
clicker.
Yeah, you need one of those umpire clickers. It's like every time you hear it, and I could see you just doing it. You're like, all right, now I got hitchhiker's thumb because it's like so strong.
But literally, sometimes I'll just get in my car after work and like I won't even turn on the radio. Nothing. Like just silence.
You're just like,
and I'm like, I don't want to
"Woosah."
be touched. I do not want to say a single word because I've been talking nonstop all day. But yeah.
That's I like the fact that you shared all that because like a lot of people, I'm sure they think, oh, your job as a teacher is probably so easy. You just sit there with the kids all day and babysit them. It's like, listen,
Yeah, well, and it's like a lot of people like I know they don't really know, but a lot of people would be like, "Oh, like you work at a daycare." And I'm like,
Nope.
"No, it's completely different than a daycare."
Right.
Like I'm like literally like I have like assessments I do, like we're like have lesson plans and
right?
like
You're teaching the children how to be people.
yeah, like I am teaching. I'm not just like watching them.
Right. And some of the stories you tell me about, like the fact that you have to be like, you have to explain that. It's so weird to me thinking about this because like I don't have any kids, but I spend a little bit of time with my nieces and nephews and stuff.
Yeah.
But the stuff that you tell me, it's like you have to like teach them that like it's not okay to go to the bathroom in your pants.
Yeah,
Or
like, they don't know.
You have to show them how to use a spoon.
Yeah.
And it's like it's just so silly to me because like I know how to use a spoon.
Yeah.
And I only poop my pants sometimes. So
Well,
it-
yeah, and like at that age, everything is a learning opportunity.
Right. But
Like all day.
Yeah,
is.
because if you think about it, they're what? How old are the kids?
Between 3 to 5.
Yeah, so literally they've only had 3 years of experience in the world.
Yeah.
And they've probably only ever seen a spoon like 16 times.
Yeah.
So it's like
Well,
it's
and
all
like,
brand new.
and yeah, like you literally have to like show them,
Right.
Like this is how you hold the spoon. Like to scoop, you don't use the
back of it.
back end.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like you
Yeah.
just like everything you
It's
have to
just
teach them.
It's so foreign to me to
Yeah.
like to think about that kind of world.
And it's also so crazy, like just how quickly, like they just learn so quickly.
Right.
It's like
They're
I know
little
people
sponges.
say that. Yeah, they're little sponges. It's
Yeah.
like I could never learn this right now. like it blows my mind how like they'll just start learning to read, and I'm like, how did I ever learn to read?
Yeah,
Like,
I'm thinking about that now too because like I started I've been doing Spanish lessons on Duolingo
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like I don't even want to do one lesson a day. It's like and it's only like 3 minutes long.
Yeah.
it'll come up and I'm like, you know what? I'm just, for those of you who use Duolingo, you'll understand this. You're just like, I'm going to use a streak freeze today because I don't feel like learning. I did that last night. I was like, I'm so worn out. I don't even feel like opening the app. I'll earn the streak freeze later. And like, but yeah, like just trying to learn even just a new language.
Yeah.
I'm just like, because I'm 40 and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is wearing me out.
Oh, one thing my kids lately I've noticed, like, I think this is just like a generational thing. Like when I was younger, like I always wanted to be outside playing constantly. Well, I think these kids like never go outside when they're with their parents.
Oh,
like,
their parents don't want to go outside.
They don't want to.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to go
They're
outside.
never outside, I swear to you. So I'll bring them outside to play. And like I'll like want to like extend recess just because I want them to be outside.
Right.
Like it's good for them.
Right.
And I swear we'll be outside for 10 minutes. It's not even hot. Okay, literally. And they're
Right.
like, I'm hot. I want to go inside. I'm bored. And I'm like, you're 5 years old. You cannot be bored. Like we are outside.
You're not allowed
Go
to be bored.
Play.
Right.
Like-
do you have them coming up to you and be like, do you have games on your phone?
Yes. And I'm like, can I see your phone? I'm like, no. Or like they are addicted to the tablets. So we have learning tablets
Right.
that they can get for 10 minutes at a time, like each kid during
Yeah.
free play. They are like addicted, like tantrum throwing.
Wow.
And I'm like, I'm sorry, but if you're going to throw a 45-minute tantrum every day about the tablet, you're not going to be able to get a turn.
Right. Man.
Like that's what they do at home all the like all day, you know?
Yeah. I'm not saying all parents are like this, but I'm sure there are some parents out there who just like, they're just like, nope, I'm just going to, take the tablet. Take
Well,
my phone.
I know, and it's just an easy thing to do. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, oh,
It's like, that's your new babysitter.
here's a tablet.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they're quiet. They sit there. They watch YouTube. Like, but yeah, strong addiction to the screen time.
Right. Yeah. Cause that's like just
In the
straight, like,
youth.
what is it? Straight input, like just constant,
Sensory.
yeah, sensory,
Yeah.
whatever it is, whatever the word is that I'm looking for.
And so yeah, just keep your kids off the tablets.
That's so sad to me that kids would be outside and within 10 minutes they're asking to go back in because they can't
I
figure
know.
out what to do. Like they don't know how
I
to
know.
play or do make
They don't know how to
or
have their own like imagination anymore.
that's terrifying.
I know. So I'm like, no, we're staying out here. Like, go play. Like,
Right.
find some. And they'll be like, oh, I want like toys. And like sometimes I won't bring toys out specifically so they can like make up games or something.
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah,
So
it's just wild.
That kind of plays into what Shane and I do because like we're creators. So I've had a huge imagination. Words. I've had a huge- yeah. I've had a huge imagination since I was a kid. I still do. Like one of my favorite things to do is free writing where you guys have read some of the stuff we've done it before where it's a Q&A with JPN and it's like they'll ask a question and we just make up the most ridiculous answer. And I literally don't know what the next word's going to be.
yeah.
So I'll make it up as I go along. So that's like one of my favorite things to do. And I think that came from when I was a kid. Like we had a bunch of electronics around my house. Like there was like, we had an Intellivision, which is like a really old video game system back from, it was before Atari, I think. Mm-hmm. But we had stuff like that, like just sitting around the house. And I would like set them all up on the dining room table and like pretend like I'm hooking them up. Like they're all going to connect together to run this whole big mainframe, whatever thing that I was making.
Yeah.
And I would always come up with just silly stuff like that. And like we used to go outside. I think I told this story one time on one of the last couple podcasts, but we would take the water hose and shoot it up in the air and make it rain. And we would make like these action fight videos.
Yeah.
And we would do slow motion punches and all this kind of stuff. Like we were making the Matrix before the Matrix was even out. But yeah. So,
and like when I was a kid, like this is kind of embarrassing, but I would literally
Please tell.
like pretend to like film like commercials for
Yeah,
things that I
we did
had
the-
in my house,
we did the
like
same
a
thing.
pickle commercial or something. Like, you know what I mean?
speaking of pickles, go watch the Pickle Incident. It's a great video.
Or like me and my brother, we'd play school, or
Right.
one of us would be the dog and the other person would be like the dog walker.
Because we didn't have tablets.
Yeah.
We didn't. The internet wasn't even out.
I know.
When were you born? 97?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
we
had
had
the
the
internet.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
You
but it
probably didn't have a
wasn't
computer.
in my, like,
Yeah.
I didn't have the internet at
Right.
my house.
Yeah.
Like, I seriously did not have Wi-Fi at my house till I was a senior in high school.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think we even had the internet at my house until it was like 2000 or
Yeah.
something like that. Maybe even a little bit later. No, it was probably around 99, 2000, something like that.
Yeah.
Woo. Micah,
Yes.
Tell us about being a copywriter.
Yeah, sure. Sorry, it's such a shift in topic. A lot of the stuff Shane was saying, I definitely like resonate with, and is similar to what I do to some degree. Essentially, what a copywriter is it's someone who writes any type of persuasive based copy. Like, so copy is just like this. It could be what that actor says in a commercial. It could be a script for a video about how to put something together. It could be just an email. It could be specifically like copy for Amazon, which is a lot of what I do. So like a product description, which is what you see on the right of the image if you're like scrolling through Amazon. And then there's A+ content, which is even more of that stuff. If you ever scroll down the page and it's like, here's why you should choose Laneige lip sleeping mask, da 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 da. There's a picture of Sydney Sweeney, like, or whatever. Maybe that'll probably mean nothing to the majority of people that watch these videos.
That meant nothing to me.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's what I do. My official title is omni-channel copywriter, so I work.
Ooh, that sounds cool.
Yeah, so basically it's what it sounds like. I work with different channels. So I work for a distribution company that I won't name, but we have 7 different, I guess we're like a parent company to 7 other distribution centers and websites.
Right.
So hard to like say it without saying it. And the one I work for mostly is our ARE division, which is Active Recovery Essentials, and then our spa division. So a lot of what my day is learning about a new product, writing about it, maybe writing a video script for a video they're going to shoot for the product. It's a lot of that. It's a lot of research and a lot of writing. And it can get a little redundant. I do switch up what I do a lot. But one of the things I do, like Shane said, I write posts, but they're for Amazon. And I also like pull images from our design team. Our designer makes images and is like, hey, can you come up with a catchy caption? And then I build the post on Amazon. But instead of 5 brands, we have over 60,000. I don't work with all 60,000. But I do work through our Amazon division, I work with about, I think there's 60 something. I don't know off the top of my head. So it's a lot of different brands. And one day I might work for 7 different brands that are kind of similar. So it gets a little tricky. Like, oh, wait, no, this company isn't Korean based. And I'm writing something about, Korean based skincare. It's like, oh, no, I'm on the wrong brand. Yeah, so it gets a little redundant. I work remotely, so I'm in like meetings all day, and then when I'm not in meetings, I'm like hammering down the content. And I'm also the only copywriter for the ARE division. So when I say I'm burnt out, that's what I mean. I mean, I'm working too much. It's not that I'm not passionate. It's just I feel super overworked.
So how many pieces are you writing a week, do you think?
A week?
Yeah.
If I work on like 5 different types of content a week, so maybe like an Amazon brand story, an Amazon posts, Amazon tailored audience emails, which are just emails that are like they're
like email marketing campaigns,
yeah.
that kind of thing. Yeah.
It's so hard to say because it can change a lot, and I'm also doing edits like constantly. Like the vendor sent something back and they're like, hey, actually replace these 2 bullets with something else, and it'll just be random like in the middle of the day, and I have to stop and do that. So it's a lot of like, it's chaos. If I had to say how many pieces I write in a week, oh god, I would say maybe 30 to 40 like different pieces of content that I'm working on. So
that's quite a lot.
That's how much a day?
Honestly, I feel for that.
Yeah,
that's like probably with all my other projects that I do on top of like I said, so like all my normal posts and all that kind of stuff is that is like my baseline. Like that's just like my normal and all my special projects we're working on. If we're working on any kind of other campaigns, I mean, if we're working, who knows what else? I mean, I'm probably like I probably at least knock out. Let me think. Yeah, probably 30-ish pieces of something.
Right. And are you
week,
doing
easy.
any like
Like-
writing like for any of these brands? Because
Yeah.
yeah. So you're doing that, and then you're also like putting together video footage and everything.
Yeah, I do
Yeah.
video. I write all the scripts. If we write posts, I write those. If we have email campaigns, I write those. If we have descriptions, or if we have website copy, or if we have ad copy or anything like that, I'm writing all of that. Any kind of designs, I do all that. Like we just made one of the things I just did.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is too, I think with working so closely with the company and being the only person there, it's a weird dynamic because like you have a design team, you have all that kind of thing, which kind of I think it makes it more chaotic and also
It
more
ca-
structured.
it
I think it can
can.
be both.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because at least like your brain. I hate the other thing though about being, and Rob can verify this too. Working with so many different brands, your brain at any minute is split in 18 different directions, and it's like you have to reorient like what exactly you're working
Right.
on, and like what is the voice of this? Like what are the color schemes? What is the sound like? How do they talk? Like there's just so like what's the font? Like there's just so much weird stuff that happens in your brain.
That's the stuff that I have to get across whenever I'm looking at the quality control and stuff. I see some of our editors and stuff. I'm like, all right, these are all starting to look real similar. Like, because you're basically just laying out the exact same thing just for a different
Right.
company. And I'm like, we can't do that.
Man, to do it well, you have to understand. That's the other thing. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's honestly harder about writing, I feel like, than the video or photography sometimes, is that you have to like intimately know the product and the brand almost to
Right.
be able to do it well. Like whenever I'm writing for anything, it's just like I have to know, like when I do like our home construction, different companies that we do, like for me to be able to accurately write and make the content and do all the things, I have to understand. Like I have almost, I would say I have about half to 3/4 as much knowledge about all the products that we sell and all the things that we do as our salespeople do, because I have to be able to like put that out there in a way that's digestible that people get it. And man, I feel that. I mean, that's I think being a writer, I feel like being a writer is cooler than my job though.
It's not what.
Because like I am not a good. I feel like writing is like I feel like
Yeah.
you're a writer to me, and being a writer seems cooler than my job.
I mean,
like,
it's
I
cool.
think it's super cool because I don't
difficult.
feel like I'm a good writer.
Yeah, I mean, it's like copywriting. You kind of have to learn how to do, especially because like if you work on multiple different channels, like me, the boxes that you're kind of putting the copy in all look kind of different. They have different character counts, and then like you were saying, you have to get to know the brand, and some brands don't have like a brand standards or brand guidelines document of any kind.
Been there.
So-
Gotta make it up.
yeah, and then so what happens is we work with brand specialists who you would think would kind of be the person to know that information, but they really don't, and that's kind of one of the issues within my company, is they're just like the tunnel of communication to me and the design team, and they don't really know anything about the brand. They just ask for materials, and sometimes they don't get any, and they're like, okay, like, good luck, here's this is here's like a couple sentences about what this brand wants. Good luck. Like, also, they don't even have a product description for this product, so look at this product from another brand that is pretty much similar. They basically copied the other brand, so you just kind of write what they write, but don't, because then we could get in trouble. So just kind of like change it completely, and it becomes this, like super fun mess where I'm then like, okay, let me just speak to the brand. Like, let's get in a meeting with them. Let me learn a little bit about their brand voice, see what they want, like what the most important points they want to share about their product. It gets.
See, Rob, this is what you should actually do. Like
Oh.
this is what we should actually do.
I know.
And then it never happens.
Right. Yeah. So, because it's all done on the fly. So, and
Yeah.
what you guys are talking about right here is why I can't outsource any of that stuff for Just Plain Nonsense, because it is my voice. Like, it has to be written a certain way. Like, I have very, very specific standards for how that stuff is supposed to be done. Because if you were to write something, I'm like, this doesn't sound right. It doesn't sound like it doesn't have the voice of Just Plain Nonsense. So it has to meet that. And I have specific colors, and like, hired a specific artist to draw the cartoons because like I wanted a certain look for the whole entire thing. I spent 2 years developing the brand. So it's like, I get it. And I understand, like, if you go to, if a company comes to you and they're like, hey, I need you to make this. And then you make it and they're like, this isn't on brand at all. Cause like you have to get intimate with it. You need to know it. So that's, that I completely understand what you're talking about.
So, Michael, what's your? I'm gonna ask you a couple of these.
Yeah,
and then,
yeah, go
I'm
for
gonna
it.
hit everyone else with it. What's your favorite part about writing? Like, what about what you do? What's your favorite part?
I mean, I'm really interested in a lot of the brands I get to work with. So being able to interact with them, kind of learn more about their product. I mean, I'm really interested in a lot of the things that we sell. Like one of the things that projects we're working on right now, I can't say the name of any of these companies, which is so annoying. But they make, essentially it's a heating pad, but it is, most heating pads, if you don't know this, and this is how the guy explained it to me when I met with him, are like glorified Christmas lights, just like in a potato sack. So they're just like put on super high heat frequency. So they are helping your body feel good while they're on your body, but as soon as you take it off, you go back to the symptoms of whatever you might have, if it's a pulled muscle, if it's cramps, whatever it may be. The kind of technology they've used is so specific that it's actually the science. We're really new into getting to know this brand, so I can't explain too much of it too well. But it literally is like healing the body, and it's the only company that makes this type of technology in the USA. Everything else is made in like Shenzhen, China. So the fact that they're USA based and that they have like found a way to actually heal these like types of ailments that they're trying to heal is, I mean, super cool. It's revolutionary. He's gonna be like, in like 20 years, like nobody's gonna be selling these crappy heating pads anymore. Blah blah blah, going all about this, and I'm like, cool. I feel like I have like a head start into some like future knowledge. So I really like that. I really like being collaborative with the designers, being able to kind of work as a team to put something together that we're really proud of and think looks really good, and seeing the vendors happy with what we are, not the vendors, but yeah, no, they are the vendors and the brand specialists happy with what we send them, and oh my gosh, I love what you did with that. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, it's just satisfying to help bring a brand to life, I guess.
Yeah, no, that's definitely, that sounds like it could be super rewarding because it's a job and you're like, you're doing what you're asked, but to them, that's their life.
Yeah.
You know, that's like, especially if it's a brand that they've built themselves, or if it's a smaller company, probably, then it's, that's their livelihood and that's their face, and you're helping to like make it better and like bring it out into the world.
Right, definitely. And, everybody thinks that the thing is, we sell a lot of very similar products. They're like the same product from a different brand, essentially. And everyone is so passionate that they have like the right ingredients to like really get the results. Like they really have the best like version of the product out there. And it's so funny because everybody feels the same way a lot of the time. There are some ones that stand out, like the heating pad guy I was just talking about. But with a lot of the skincare, it's so funny. But it's great because they're so passionate about what they've created, and
Do you get to try out these products when you're writing something about them?
The thing with me being remote is I don't see the products in person like the designers might. Like I'm not there taking photo shoots with them. I am actually, my arm is on the website, our Amazon website. Because we used my arm when I was in Ohio for a week, which is where my company is based, and we were selling like a genometer that like, measures like your radius of your arm. And we just needed an arm, and it was like, anybody have an arm they don't mind sharing? And I'm like, I'll share my arm. So yeah, my arm's on Amazon on a random product
awesome.
that I can't say.
Not everyone can say that.
No. So funny. And I was like, am I going to get paid for this? Am I like a model now? I'm an arm model specifically for genometers and like
So what's your least
dumbbells.
favorite part then?
Least favorite part about it? I think the problem with my company at the moment is we have 3 designers and 1 copywriter, and we are growing way too fast. And I am getting super duper spread thin, and that's kind of an issue. So I guess it's not necessarily like part of my job, but it's more of an issue with the company and them just being like, they want to squeeze us like oranges until the last drop comes out. So I'm not a fan of that. But obviously,
You got to get all the work out while it's still juicy. I
right,
guess.
right. I'm like, when am I going to dry out? When are you going to squeeze the last drop out of me? And I think it'll be super exciting once I do have another copywriter to work with, though, in the future. I think it'll be super fun to have someone else. I do have like a copywriting manager that I bounce ideas off of, but she works primarily with our professional divisions, which my company like owns some of their own divisions that make the same products as other people. They just slap our label on it, basically, which is interesting. Because then
That's
I write
called
copy
white
for them.
labeling. That's called white labeling.
White labeling, yeah. Is that what it's called? Nobody said that
Yeah.
word probably because it's like a no word in our.
That's what it's called.
Yeah, but we do a bit of that. That I'm not a huge fan of, but it kind of is what it is. Like, I understand. They're like,
Yeah.
why not make a cheaper alternative of this really overpriced
Right.
sleeve for whatever ailment you might have? Like, I'm trying not to say my product name so bad.
That's got to be really hard for you because, like, you know that, like, if you're writing the same, like, you got to write different copy in different voices for the same product.
Right, yeah. Like, our divisions that we own are very, like, medical, so everything is very, like, straightforward and, like, focused on the science, but there are other companies that are, like, you know, being a mom is now easier than ever because you can do this while doing this, and they, you know, have a different, like, they have a
Sounds
different...
like an infomercial.
Yeah, they have a different target audience, so
Right.
even if it's a similar product, so it's it's a lot, and I don't want to say it gets redundant, but it can. If I'm like working on a product that is super similar to another one that I just worked on and just thinking of ways
Right.
to reword it. I mean, it's a good way to like flex your creative muscles, I guess, but yeah,
Yeah.
eventually,
I feel that.
yeah, the
Favorite.
brain
Least favorite.
gets
Maybe.
tired eventually.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
For me, so I never really said what I do, but I think I did talk about it once before. I mean, I kind of did. But my favorite part is music videos. Like, if I can make music videos all day, I'm down. Which that kind of leads me to a little bit of an announcement because, like, for Just Play Nonsense, we are actually going to start working on some music videos. We have a plan to make some silly music videos with a very, very high production value. Imagine like Lonely Island meets VeggieTales. Like, that's essentially kind of what it's going to be like. And I can't wait. We're going to write our own songs, just the dumbest songs you've ever heard. And then they're going to be really, really good, high quality. So I'm super excited about that. Yeah, no, my favorite thing is just, I love telling stories. Like, really, I don't want to say any kind of story, but like, I love telling stories. And then like in a really narrative form. And then if I can do it through music, that's even better. Like, I've written and directed a couple music videos, and it's literally like one of the best things I've ever done. Like, especially for the person that I did it for is one of the sweetest. She's one of the sweetest girls on the planet. And she, when I sent her the script, cause it was her life story, she cried when she read it. And that meant the world to me. Cause it's like, I, as a man, wrote a woman's life story about all the stuff she was talking about. And it meant a lot to her. Mm-hmm. So I just, that made me feel like I actually, maybe I'm good at this.
For real.
And then we did a second one where it's kind of like a fairy tale looking, grungy fairy tale looking thing, about, she has a disease, and, she wrote a song about it, and the song was basically taking place in her mind, and the visuals are all representative of what her body goes through. But yeah, and that was insanely fun because we actually got to rent some equipment that we didn't have, like giant lights that we never would have been able to have on our own. Because they're incredibly expensive, and just being able to shoot that, and I like being in charge, like because I have ideas, and I want to be able to be like, all right, you go do this, you go do that, and then just watching them come to life. And that on that music video, I spent about 100 hours writing, directing, editing, and doing visual effects for that. It was about 100 hours, so I put a lot of time into it. So yeah, that's my favorite thing, is just being able to tell stories. in really any format. Like if I can write it, if I can shoot it, if I can produce it, whatever. And then least favorite, deadlines. I hate having deadlines. I get it. Like you need them. Cause like if you look at some of our podcast episodes that did not get put out on time, there was no deadline because I'm the one in charge of that and I didn't set a deadline. So that's where it helps having Micah, because she kind of yells at me sometimes. She's like, "Hey, why is this not done?" Like Locked, that short film that we shot.
You guys
where I
remember
put her-
shooting that like 4 years ago?
Yeah, I do.
I get asked
and
about
Shane
it all
falling
the
asleep
time.
while he's holding lights. What'd you say, Micah?
I get asked about it by the people in my life because I was telling them about the like plot of it, and like people saw like my hands, how they were all effed up afterwards.
Right.
And they're like, whatever, like you never shared that. I'm like, it's not done.
So we do have a deadline of Halloween, so it should be coming out around Halloween. My main problem is I just have to shoot a few more things to get it done because
Pick up shots.
yeah, it's just stuff that I didn't get while we were shooting because I just didn't know how.
Right.
And what's crazy is it was shot so long ago that like now I'm like, oh, I would have done that so differently, so differently. So yeah, it's not going to be the best quality, I don't think.
To your now standards.
Yeah, it's my now standards, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens with it. But yeah, my least favorite. I don't like deadlines. Like, I mean, they're necessary, but I just
That's fair.
yeah.
Amanda, what's your favorite and least favorite?
The kids, both of them.
My favorite is just getting to like make relationships with the kids and see how they develop throughout the year, and like feel like I am like teaching them things.
I love so much to watch kids learn.
Yeah.
Like I was watching my little nephew when he was little, just watching him learn how to like actually like reach and pick something up because you've got to learn how his hands work.
Yeah,
So just watching them like learn and grow, it's so incredible.
it is. My least favorite is like trying to, because each kid's different, and if you have like kids that have like really bad behavior problems, I wouldn't say it's like my least favorite. It's like the hardest part of my job, to be able to find strategies that work for each child. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it like takes time to figure that out. So it's just hard to like be like, I had to like figure out the best way to deal with it. So then you kind of feel bad because you're like, when I first started, that probably wasn't the best direction to come
Right.
at it. You know what I mean? For this child. So
All right, and that's it. We're done. No, I'm just kidding. Shane, what's your favorite and least favorite?
I don't know. I think favorite. I think the favorite part that I have about what I do, honestly, it splits into kind of two things. It's for me. I think sometimes you see a shot you did. Like I'll get done shooting something. Number one, I love collaborating with other people who are creative. That's like one of my favorite parts about what I do, which I don't do anymore.
I think that should have been one of mine too.
It
'cause
hurts me.
I love. I mean, hello.
Yeah, I know. It really.
I'm available, Shane.
I do know. Well, I know, but I
can't tell you how bad I want that.
in my current position.
Yeah.
It hurts not having that collaborative aspect. You know, being able to. What was really nice whenever I was working agency side with you guys. Like, man, I loved all you guys so much. I love bouncing ideas. I love just like you can really like dig into that creative process and really make something cool.
We've
And people who cared about making something cool just to make something cool.
We've changed the way things work now, and that's pretty much what we do.
Yeah,
That's like the whole thing now.
love it.
We collaborate, come up
Well,
with ideas.
I'm glad I left.
You were actually the catalyst for that.
Hey,
You were part of
I'll
it.
take it. You know what I mean? If you got to be a reason for change, then it works out, I guess. So that part. But, man, I think on that same note, though, like one of my favorite things, like whether it be like a design or like a print or a video or a photo, like you shoot something and you sit down, you look at it and you're like, sometimes I just look at like an edit or like a shot and I'm just like, oh my God, like I can't believe I did that.
Dude,
like,
I'll watch my own videos like 14 times in a
and
row.
I'm like
Just to
when
keep
it's
watching
bad,
it.
here's the thing: when it's bad, it hurts.
Yeah.
but when it's good,
It hurts in a different
there's
way.
nothing like it. Like you just
Yeah.
look at it and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that.
Yeah.
Like that is the coolest thing I've ever seen. I like that's. I think it's a feeling that's hard to describe unless you've been there.
Yeah.
and you just like see something you've built and you're like, holy crap, like, I
made
can't
that.
believe it.
Yeah.
Like, I cannot believe that turned out the way it did. Like, it feels like external, like it feels like it's bigger than you at that point. Like, you look at it,
That's
you're
a
like,
good way to describe it. I
yeah, like
that.
it's like, oh my, I filmed a music video for our friend Ben, that should be dropping here soon, and I was rewatching it once we got the master audio back, and I was just rewatching it. I'm like, oh my god, like I cannot believe I helped make that. Like, I had all you guys there. Rob was my AD on that, and I had a whole bunch of other people.
That was a weird position for me.
I loved it
Because I had
loved having
always,
you as AD.
I had
You were
always
so
been the
helpful.
director, so it was weird. Just because it was, I didn't give you the reins, but it's like you had them.
Yeah,
You were in
basically,
charge.
I had an idea, and I was like, Rob, how do I do this? I think that's the ultimate role of an assistant director. It's
Yeah.
like the director's like, I know what I'm doing. I know what I want it to be, and then like I'm like, but I will be deferring to Rob for the technical capability of how we do this. And you did such a good job. Like,
thank
everyone really came together to make that. Like, even like there were some people we shoot with. Like, you shoot with people with different skill levels, and like they that's part of the process, of the kind of creative process of like people with different skill levels and different talents and different styles and that kind of thing, and you kind of bring it all together to make this like cool project,
Right.
Whether that be like a TV show or like a music video or anything. But just like looking back at the end of that process and after all the editing and just being like, this is so much bigger than just me. Like, and just being able to look at it and be like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, it's a feeling that I can't really describe. Like, it's better than anything else. And that's why I like doing what I do.
Right.
And then also on top of that, man, making something that makes people feel something.
Yes.
I think that's like, and it's more than storytelling, because there's a storytelling aspect to that. But sometimes, man, I like. It's part of the reason why I find kind of joy in any part of that work is that, like, sometimes you do, like, I hate doing family portraits. Like, I hate doing portrait.
I
work.
don't like doing. I'm not so much family portraits. So all my
Yeah.
stuff's more candid.
Yeah,
Like I want to get the in between moments.
See,
That's
I like candid shots when I'm doing that kind of stuff, but like there are photographers out there, that's what they do. They do family portraits, they do like, engagement, they do weddings and that kind of thing. And I'm just not that person. I'll do them, but it's not like my passion for
Right.
sure. But at the same time, what I will say, what I like about those and what I like about doing videos and what I like about doing all these things is that I see someone when I deliver it or when I watch it with them, where I see them look at it and I see that they feel what I'm trying to get them to feel, or it's like whenever, this is why, like what I was saying earlier, that what we do is art. It's creativity, is that you're given the unique opportunity to make someone feel what you were trying to make them feel when you're making something.
Right.
Like I'm trying to craft something so that you understand me. You know what I mean? It's almost like them understanding a little piece of yourself.
Yeah,
that you're putting
that's
into
where a lot of
something.
people say you put a piece of yourself into
You
that
really
art.
do.
Yeah.
Like, you really, really do. And just like being able to see, like, to make someone feel something with the work that you're making is like, it's just one of the most incredible things that I feel like you can do. Like,
Yeah.
for me, that's why I like it. I mean, I feel like that everyone has the reason they like their stuff, but that's definitely it. I mean, and as far as things I don't like, I think it's like almost the opposite. I hate making stuff just to make it.
Yeah. Just to
I
fill
can't
a place or
stand
whatever.
it. It
Yeah.
makes me want to quit doing one. Like, when I am forced to just make stuff just because, it makes me want to quit. It makes me want to go back and just like do like a job like that doesn't matter, like that I don't care about, because and it's so much that I love what I do. When it flips back on me like that, and I have to do it just because, where it has no meaning, it has no passion, there's nothing good behind it, it makes me hate it. Like, more than I could ever hate like a dead end job that
Right.
doesn't matter.
Yeah, I completely get that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's a struggle.
I think it's funny that we just spent like about an hour talking about work, but I think it's gonna be super relatable because
Boo. Just sorry.
Did you
It felt it's like so adult of us, and I was just like, ew,
Yeah.
boo.
Dude, it's like 60% of your life. Like, it's something you have like unless you just like become like a hobo,
or you hit it big with
which is
AMC.
fine, or that, or you. But for 99% of people, I mean, that's where you're hopefully, you don't just get a job where you have to do 30 years and you're just praying to God for retirement or someone to
Right.
shoot
Yeah.
you on accident like the whole time. I mean, I hope that everyone gets a job that they love. and can get something out of.
Well, and also like the people you're like your coworkers and stuff, like you're spending more time with them than you are your family.
Yeah.
Like my kids at school, like they're probably with me more than they are with their own parents.
Yeah. See, I was thinking about that the other day too, because I was looking through my text messages, and literally like the top like 10 or 15 people are work.
Yeah.
And it's not family, it's not friends, it's all just work, and it's every single day, and it just doesn't stop. So it's they basically are your
Family. Yeah.
Choose it wisely.
right.
Yeah.
Think
Yeah.
really hard about it.
So that goes back to what we were talking about at the very beginning, where it's like if you have a specific thing that you want to do it. Like because there's always an excuse not to do something. So just push yourself. Do whatever needs to be done to get to the point you want to be at. I wanted to lose a bunch of weight, and I just finally just like, you know what, I'm just going to do it. I wanted to be this creator. I wanted to be a multimedia producer. I wanted to like make music videos and graphics and animations. So back in 2003, I had $1 that I've got, or I got dollar words. I'm just trying to find out what Micah's doing.
Sorry.
Oh, no, there she goes.
I was thinking about how I want to take a picture with all of us at one point, but the video of me has been over Shane's face the whole time. It actually is really weird, Shane. It kind of looks like my head is your head, but then there's a little bit of your chin. So
I love it.
sorry, bad timing to try to think about that.
No, if you can position yourself where Shane is your head and take a screenshot, that would be awesome.
Okay, I can try to do that.
So you do
Right
that
now?
while I'm
Okay.
yeah, like while I'm telling the story. What was I saying?
Shoot, what were you saying?
Just find a way to do what you
I
love.
lost the weight. Yeah. So in 2003, I got a computer because a friend of mine had a computer. He wasn't using it, and he was like, "You can borrow it and you can keep it until I pay you back for these chicken wings that you bought me." And I bought him chicken wings for $6. So I got a computer for $6.
Wow.
So that's where I started because I wanted to make like T-shirts and
Is
stuff.
that your origin story?
That's my origin story. And yeah, that's how I started. So it's like I literally started with a computer for $6, and now I have like a $3,000 computer and a $2,000 computer. So it's like you have to build yourself up. It might take 10 years because it's 2003 to 2023. It's 20 years, bro. Chill, calm down. I'm yelling at a fly for those of you who aren't watching. I guess he wants to be part of it. Do you have anything to say? Yeah, I didn't think so. Yeah. So it took me 20 years to get where I'm at, but I mean, you just start doing it. If the best time to start was 10 years ago, but the next best time is right now. So like,
Yeah.
just do it.
That's
Do
how I
whatever
feel
you have
about
to do.
school. I'm like, yeah, it might take me a long time to finish because
Right.
I'm working full time at the same time.
Yep.
But
I did the same thing.
I'm going to be proud when I'm finally done,
I did the same thing. Like I went to school initially in 2001 when I graduated high school. And then I was like, oh, freedom.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't go to class. So I lost my financial aid several times because I lost my financial aid several times. I ended up having to pay out of pocket. And
Yeah.
it took me 16 years to finally get my associate's degree.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really need to go any further than that because I'm doing what I want to do.
Yeah.
And I can literally do anything, any job that I need to do. It doesn't matter what it is. But it took me 16 years because I had to pay out of pocket. So I'd take one class here, 2 classes there. Then I'd take like 7 years off, and then I'd take one class.
I feel ya.
Yeah. So it's like it's just push. Do whatever you need to do. This is your little word of encouragement.
Well, and I feel like people like make up these timelines in their own brain.
Right.
Like, well, if I don't finish school before 22, no, can't
Yeah.
do college anymore.
Right. 22, you're still a baby.
I know. Like, it's just these like societal standards that are made up that we just follow. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah. It's like you're supposed to finish school, get a job, get married, have kids, grow old, and die.
Yep. And work.
Right. Oh yeah, I was working there too.
And that's what you're supposed to do. But
Did I not say get a job?
Yeah, you did.
yeah,
It
but
was in there.
there's a difference between just get a job and then you
yeah.
have to work 72 years.
Right.
Right. And I think it's dumb that you have to work 40 hours a week. Like I don't want to do
Oh
that.
my gosh.
Blame
I think the
Henry Ford.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Blame Henry Ford.
That jerk.
I just feel like the perfect amount of work per day
About
is like 5 or 6 hours tops.
Yep. And then it's nap time.
Yeah.
And then you go home and eat dinner.
In 4-day weeks.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's actually
4-day
that'd be
work week.
perfect.
So
Let's
20
bring it
20
back.
hours a week. Yeah. Are we going to do that with Just Plain Nonsense? Is that going to be our deal? It's going to be 4 days a week and then
6 hours.
6 hours a day.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to hire like 40 people just to get to get work done.
No, because productivity is the solution. You work for productivity. You don't work for absent hours.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Then
So you can make it work.
That's something that goes on with my job. Like a lot of people are like they feel like you have to work in the office, and I think COVID taught a lot of businesses that you don't have to people don't have to work in the building. So we have a lot of independent contractors, and they work wherever they want to work, and I'm like, listen. If you want to work from a sewer drain, like if that's where you're going to work and that's where you're most productive, do
Fine.
it. As long as you get the work done and I can turn it in on these ridiculous deadlines, like I don't care. Like you do work wherever you want to work. As long as you have internet and you can send me the files.
For sure.
Like we're good to go.
Yeah.
If you want to work out on a houseboat, if you happen to be lucky enough to have one, go ahead. Do it. If you want to work from the space station, if you can get up there somehow, build a ladder or whatever.
You want to work from Mars?
Yeah, do it. Just Mars, I think it takes about 16 minutes for you to send me files.
Oh,
So,
that's fine.
Yeah, I think I
That's
could
not
probably do
bad.
this. But then I have to be able to download them. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, it's 16 minutes for it to get here, not for you to send me the whole file.
Oh.
Like one bit of data will take 16 minutes
Oh,
to get
well,
here.
yeah, that might suck, but
Yeah, so then it'll take a long time to download. I'm sure they haven't run fiber on Mars yet.
probably not yet.
All right, is that everything? Everybody, we're good.
I think so.
Thank
All right,
you.
Micah, I
Yeah.
came up with a name for your fox. I don't know if it's
For
the
my
same
fox.
name you guys
Oh,
have.
okay. Please, tell me.
So is it a boy or a girl?
I think it's a girl because the eyelashes, but at the same time, naturally, it's always boys that have the better eyelashes. So it's like, what do I do with this?
Okay. So, well, this can work. It can be a boy's name or a girl's
Okay.
name. It is Phineas.
Phineas. Oh, that was Phineas the Finnick fox.
Right.
Oh,
So,
wow.
do you want to have Phineas send us out on this episode?
Oh yeah. Okay. Let me go back down.
Yeah. You don't have to get down there if you don't want to, but if you want to, you can.
I can't. I'm a bad puppeteer if my face is showing.
I like how you're just forcing your face into the camera. Make sure that microphone comes to you because we
Oh
don't
yes,
need to hear
yes,
Phineas.
yes.
All right.
That's all, folks. Thanks for watching another Just Plain Nonsense podcast. We appreciate your time, and if you have any thoughts or questions, please leave them in the comment section below. We love you guys. Bye.
That was so great.
It's me again.
That was so adorable. All right, now look at your audio and tell me how many times you've clipped because I saw you getting real close on your microphone.
Ooh, just then a couple times.
Yeah, so I saw that. I saw you getting up on your microphone. It should be fine, but we'll see.
Okay. Oh, another
You
thing
look
of
super
note.
scared.
I'm not sure why, but I think it mixed this. I think it took the audio that I had earlier, stopped it, and restarted it, so it's all in the same file because it says 2 hours and 8 minutes.
Oh yeah, that's fine. We'll delete the old one and then you can export it, or you can just export
Bye,
that.
Micah.
Okay, bye guys.
Oh, are you leaving
Wait,
with him?
guys, I didn't get a photo of you yet. If you guys want to sneak in really quick.